Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League of the day. We're doing Brentford against, I was going to say the Villa, going crazy. Liverpool are on a tear to see if they can recreate Man City's drop-off last season by doing it themselves this season. Now, I did cover some of that last week on Monday Night Live, which you can join us 8 o'clock live. Don't forget the clocks have gone back in the UK, so if you want to join me tomorrow night, it'll be 9 o'clock normally in the new time, but it'll be 8 o'clock still, if that makes sense. So if you're somewhere else and you're coming on the time zone, don't forget for that extra hour. But we're going to talk mainly a lot about a couple of problems that have sort of arose, because it's the first time I've actually sort of sit and watched Liverpool play so far this season. I've caught little bits, but like some people do, you watch 10, 15 minutes, but just watching the full game and watching the body language. And I was watching Virgil van Dijk, and I can see why Kirkes is having a nightmare of a game, because every single time he does something on the football, Van Dijk is judging him, and you can see his body language, and you can see basically he's just not a leader. You don't act that way when you're trying to bed people into your team and you're trying to do things. You encourage them. You all those little bad moments of your body language, you have to be in control. That's why you are a captain. You don't do those things. You don't sulk and put your hands and go, oh, and all this any time one of your teammates does something that's stupid. You just don't do that stuff. But Van Dijk does. And I can understand why they're porous at the back. I can see why Canate wants to leave, because he wants to get away to Real Madrid, because Van Dijk is having a shocker and no one ever calls him on it, because apparently he's royalty in the Liverpool fan base, and you're not allowed to say that Van Dijk is absolutely having a nightmare and everything around him is going wrong. The amount of problems that Liverpool have defensively, you can't talk about their midfield or the lack of goals up front, like I explained in the live stream, or the no energy that the Liverpool front line have. None. Zero. They're all stander-arounders. They're not workers for the ball. I'll cover a lot more in depth on tomorrow night when I can actually start showing you a little bit more. But right now, we're going to see this first goal here from Brentford as it comes in for Liverpool. And we'll show you the other angle because it's a little bit better than this one. But it's just a front post delivery. If you can't defend a front post delivery in the first 5 minutes of a football game, I don't think you should be in the Premier League. Like, it's an easy thing to do. You know this. Oh, by the way, I'll address this on Monday Night Football as well. Sorry, Monday Night Live, not Monday Night Football. There is this thing where simple things will beat Premier League football teams, right? Because it's the same reason why professional football players aren't good for professional football coaches. Okay, what happens is, I'm going to go really into depth on this tomorrow night. They're too busy talking about third man overlapping dynamic runs instead of just doing the basics. In football, sometimes you just have to do the basics. And they don't want to coach that, or they don't want to teach that because they want to sound smart. Especially these ex-footballers. I've just done my A-Pro license and I want to show you all my knowledge. Yeah, but you're not teaching your team to defend simply. And that happens an awful lot in the Premier League, where everyone has all these expansive models of pressing from the front with all this hyper-technical stuff, and the basics just get completely and utterly overlooked. Set pieces and corners. It's like Ange Postecoglou got fired over it, for crying out loud. It's important that you just do the basics. And when you've lost 4 on the bounce, like Liverpool had, I'm not including the Champions, I think it's 3 in the bounce in the Premier League. This was the 4th and our loss. You make sure you do the basics right. You all tighten up as a defensive unit. You don't concede goals. To concede a goal this simple and this early, it's not like Brentford carved them open with dynamic play or anything. No, it's just a ball lobbed in, and they haven't headed the ball away properly. But I'm going to show you the other angle before we move forward. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm not sure who this is here. It might be their new guy, Gtech. But if you've got Gtech defending the front post, first off, you've got a problem, right? Defensively, you have a problem. That means your centre back and your right back are letting a striker who you do not want there. You want your fast-paced striker on the edge of the box because they're strikers. They're not good defenders. There's a reason they're strikers, and I don't care how good they are headering a ball. Yeah, you can have that one striker that's good defensively. I think back in the day, was it Les Ferdinand was great defensively as he was attacking? Yeah, but you don't want that, because what you expect to do, you expect to win the header and you're expecting to go and counter-attack. That's what you're expecting your team to do. So when you've got your striker set up on the back on the front post here, well, of course he's going to lose the header. But look at Van Dijk. What's he doing? He's marking a player here, kind of, leaning forward, not looking at the ball, pushing his teammate here, Absolutely no awareness of what's really happening. And then, here's the problem. The ball bounces onto the back post, and it's so fast, it's in the back of the net. The left back really can't defend it because it's where the ball lands. It's where it bounces. He just can't. See, he's tracked his runner. He's gone where he needs to be. But because of where the ball's falling, it's just falling straight onto the Brentford on his foot. Nothing he could do. Bump. It's in the back of the net without a whisper of an eye. And Van Dijk's reaction live just said it all. Said it all. And that's why, look, he looks to the back post and just blaming Kirkes straight away. And it's not really that. It's the defensive setup on the front post. It's absolutely shocking. That's the problem. The flick-on's the problem. Not that the tapping on the back post. Yeah, that's another problem. But you've got to make sure that you deal with the first ball in. You deal with the first problem first, because then the second problem never, ever happens. It's so simple. It's such an easy goal. Liverpool, you're shocking. Now, Brentford don't score from this, but I just want to show you more shocking Van Dijk play again. Right, here he is. Blunk. Just punks the ball away, straight to a Brentford player. Boom, terrible, absolutely terrible clearance. Now, this is the problem. If that was the Kirkes on his team, he'd be absolutely screaming at him. You lead by doing things properly. That's not properly. That is just kicking the ball into the middle of the field. Picked up by a Brentford player who I think he has a little shit, and the keeper has to flick it over the bar. And before you jump on and go, oh, but he's rushed, he's a Premier League defender. He's not a Sunday League footballer. If that's a Sunday League footballer, you're going, yeah, okay. If that's a Championship defender, you're not accepting it. At this standard, and you're supposed to be the best, that is unacceptable. There's your problems. You can't give the ball away like that straight. And by the way, it's also a shift in momentum. Brentford have scored. Now they're just giving the ball away, and they're almost scoring again. You're changing the energy of the team, and you're giving the ball away for free. That's for free. Now, we're obviously going to cover the penalties here. I don't know, because I can't find the angle of the other side, and that's what I want to see, the VAR from the other side, camera angle, of whether or not he actually touches him or not. Gakpo, to me, is not a good footballer. He's one of those players that plays fantastic for his country, doesn't play great for his club team. Every time he plays for a country, he's good. Not necessarily in a Liverpool shirt. You can tell on that left-hand side they're really missing Luis Diaz. And Gakpo does go down a lot, very too easily for me, especially in this game as well. Don't know if he touches him. I can't make a decision on this, honestly, because of this player stood in the way. When you move this forward, you can't really see there from the camera angle. And it's funny that every time that you get these weird highlights, because what video was it? Oh, it was the Man United video where they don't even give you the highlights for the penalty. It was clearly and utterly a penalty for United. Like, you can't even see if this is a penalty for Liverpool or not, just because of the way they're doing it. And wait until I get onto the Van Dijk non-penalty that they give there. So awful. Let's move it. But you can tell this is a confidence thing going through the Liverpool football team here, because this is a simple 5-yard pass. It's a simple 5-yard pass, or if you're smarter, the ball goes to there and he just walks straight through the middle of the field. Don't know what you're doing, but you know what? That isn't a Premier League pass. Not if you're supposed to be good at the old footballs. Just gives it away. Brentford just go in counter-attack straight away. But I want to show you some body shape and body positioning that makes it easier for you. When this starts, Konaté's running. You can't even see Van Dijk in the picture. So what does that tell you? That tells you he's already further back. That means these two players could not get to the 18-yard box quicker than Virgil van Dijk, because he already has a head start of them of anywhere from 5 to 8 yards. Okay. Here he is, hasn't even bothered to start his run yet, puts his head down, lackadaisical, and not really trying. Konaté could see the pass. He was here, and he was already on his bike. So was the Brentford player. Van Dijk, no. Couldn't see it, couldn't smell it, no idea. Can't be bothered. And by the way, you can tell when someone's putting their head down like that. You can see the way he's running. It's what we call a token run in football. If you've coached as much as I have, or you've played as much football, I guarantee you've had that player on your team, if you've played football as well, like we all have. He looks like he's running. He's trying to put the effort in, but he doesn't really care. He's not really doing it. You're just like, oh, come on, mate. It's half an effort. And that's his run here. It's half an effort. I'll get there maybe. No, you were here when they started running from here. If you started running, you would have been about here by now. Would you have got there? Yeah, probably. but you didn't. And just to run insult to injury, these players were 5 to 8 yards behind Van Dijk. Now, that's at least 8 yards ahead of Van Dijk. That's how lazy he is. We are going to look at the finish, though. It's a quality finish. He does a good thing of how he sits the keeper down. I'm going to see if you can spot this technique. Okay, have a look at his body shape. I might just play it once first so you can see if you can spot what he does, and then I'll do some commentary over it. Do you see that? Okay, it's pretty interesting what he does. It's very, very simple. This is his foot. It looks like he's passing the ball this way, but he ends up opening up his foot, his hips more, and passing it to the other side. So that's why the goalkeeper goes down. If you watch it again, all right? Do you see? It looks like right there. I can't believe I stopped it. Oh, perfectly. It looks like he's passing that way. Can you see? Look at his head movement. Everything looks like the ball's going that way. That's why the keeper goes down, and he doesn't. He goes the other side. Really, really well done. Really good finish. Here we are for Liverpool's first goal. And by the way, Liverpool can do this all day. Just rifle the ball along the back line. Pretty much most football teams they get to, because they get into certain areas. But as I'm going to cover on Monday Night Live, these are the areas they get to, and then they sort of don't really know what to do. If they just fire the ball across the box, they've got players to score. Now, Liverpool do not have an identity as a football team at all at the moment. None. So if you said last season, oh, Trent's got the ball, oh, he's going to release Mo Salah. Oh, yeah, you'd agree with that. You go, oh, that's the way. There's going to be a chaos from Darwin Núñez, and he's going to miss an open goal, but he's going to score a double-footed bicycle kick. Yeah, that'll happen. Jota's inside the box, he's going to score. Yeah. Rest in peace, Jota. But the only things that you see that Liverpool recreate over in their attack is Gakpo gets the ball, cuts in as a shot, Mo Salah gets inside as a shot. That's about it. There isn't any sort of structure to the way that they want to attack. It's all just go play football, boys, and hope you score some goals. And quite often, well, last season they did that, but they don't have the solid base of a defensive unit that isn't letting in goals this season. So everything, the whole team is just a complete mess. But as this comes across here, Brentford really have the numbers to deal with it, but they're just paying more attention to the ball and less attention to the two players on the back post. When the ball fires in here, we're looking at a little flick, little back heel. I like these, right? I did a lot of these in my time playing football, and I would say out of 30 I'd score 2 goals, and maybe someone would score 1 goal off it, and it would look great. But all the other times I did it, completely and utterly lost the ball, because it would just roll through to somebody, on the other team. It looks good when it comes off, but quite often it doesn't come off. And here's Kirkes coming in on the back post. And the only reason I know these people's names is for the transfer window, by the way. If I didn't know the transfer window this season, I wouldn't be knowing these people. But as it comes in, slots it into the box. But his reaction when he scores this goal is the important part. He is super, super happy and completely and utterly relieved he scored a goal. You can see it. Yeah, the way he's running, the way he's just over the moon. Even though his team is losing, and pretty much most of the other Liverpool players, if they score, they would just carry on, because obviously they've won the Premier League. They don't act like that. He does. He does. He's absolutely and utterly over the moon. Over the moon, and that's because of the grief. You can see it in the body. Like, watch the Liverpool game and watch Van Dijk's body language towards this young man, and you can see why Virgil van Dijk shouldn't be a leader. So first off, let's break down Van Dijk not being a leader again. So here he is telling Kirkes what to do, right? Instead of being back in his shape and position and allowing the left back to do his job, he's decided that he's coming over here to do the left back's job. And now this is Curtis Jones. I don't know. It might be Liverpool other player is coming in and covering for Van Dijk. Why? What are you doing, Van Dijk? What are you doing? Now, at this point as well, Van Dijk's supposed to be pressuring the ball, but remember, he's a centre-back. He doesn't play out in these wide situations. He doesn't really get there quick, or nowhere near quick enough. A left-back would, because he does it all the time. So look at how slow he is. He's trying to jockey and cut the angle off. Really slow. He's taking his time. Well, I don't know what just happened here. Someone's on the ground here. I just missed that completely. Cuts him, and this is where the problem happened. He beats Van Dijk for pace round the corner. Van Dijk tries to push him and shove him. Okay, the wee kid, he stays on his feet, and there we go. That's the penalty. Or is it? Because I don't reckon it is. When I show you this other angle, and here's the other problem again. Is it a clear and obvious error? No, this is not clear and obvious. The referee gives the free kick outside the box. It's not clear and obvious that this is inside the box. If you look at this and you go, oh, for 5 seconds, it's not clear and obvious. That's one of the things. If you give it to somebody else and you go, oh, yeah, is this clearly inside the box or outside the box? Oh, I don't know. And I'll show you the angle I'm looking at. That's outside the box. You can see. Can you see? That's outside the box. And if I'm seeing that from here, yeah, don't tell me anything about referees and the game of football. Now, you see, the penalty aside, because you've got to take that away and go, yeah, because maybe Gakpo should have had one, maybe not, don't know. But that's not a penalty. It doesn't take away from Van Dijk's poor defensive ability. It doesn't take away from Liverpool's shocking play, but that's still not a penalty. Remember, it's Van Dijk's toe that catches him, and his toe is past the white line. Not a penalty. Not a penalty. Yeah, shocking. Oh, here's the other thing as well. Is like they don't, again, with that other Gakpo thing, they don't give us the proper replays. If I had all the replays and I could see a little bit closer, a little bit tighter, I'd be able to tell exactly if it's on the line or not on the line. But they want this controversy. They want this stuff. So we talk and we complain and we moan. And that's not what actually happens. People just stop watching the game. They think it's all drama and look at the clicks we've got. Because that is a thing, by the way. They care about the engagement. That is important to them. So all of a sudden, they think that this is important in a game of football, where they haven't realised it just turns off football fans. You just walk away from the game. Penalty, it's penalty. I hate him. He sits him down. Bosch puts it straight down the middle. Yeah, they're always boring. Liverpool getting on the front foot, and Liverpool don't do this. Like I was talking about Liverpool's identity and what they do and don't do. If you go back, I can remember they were fun to watch under Jurgen Klopp when they had Sadio Mane, was it Bobby Firmino and Mo Salah, and no matter who had the ball on the other team, they were all pressing, and Jordan Henderson was pressing with Andy Robinson, and they had an identity. You knew what was coming. You knew up front you couldn't hold on to the ball as a defender because they're going to come for you. These Liverpool strikers aren't coming for you. They're stood around having a tea and biscuits going, oh, look, this is how much money I make. But here's one of them. I rate this kiddie, Don Slomazai. Yeah, I really do think he's a worldly footballer. And it's whatever minute, he's still running like he's fresh as the daisy. And this is a poor pass, okay? Do you see how that ball's rolling down there? Weight of pass is just as important as accuracy of pass, okay? It's massively important. That weight of the pass is completely wrong. And he puts his team in a situation where if there was another 5 minutes, Liverpool might have tied the game. Probably not. But they lose a goal just because his weight of pass is wrong. That's how important every little detail is in the Premier League. Horrible ball in. Mo Salah's control, flicks it. Now, to be fair, it's one of those things where I'd normally yell at them because it's Mo Salah and you're leaving him unmarked in the 18-yard box. But he hasn't scored in months, so it wouldn't make any difference. Go, yeah, okay, let him off. But this is so quick, brings it down, whacks it in with his right foot. It reminds me, I think he scored a goal like this against Manchester United from the top of the box when they beat Man United at Old Trafford, like 5-0, I think. Yeah, so quick, so precise. Boom, whack. Keeper's got no chance. If he's only doing that at the beginning of the game, Liverpool might have had a better chance of winning away at Brentford. I think they've fallen down to like 7th or 8th in the league. They're not winning the league this year. You can't with the defence like that. I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. Well, because Van Dijk, I don't think, is going to increase his form. If he does, Liverpool have got a shot at doing something. But Liverpool are that certain team that will do rubbish in the Premier League, but then they'll win the Champions League. So you still have to be wary of Liverpool. They still are a little wounded animal. They've got a lot of firepower. And if they click with all the talent that they've got, they're going to give somebody a proper hiding soon. I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.